personal growth and development. And so I'm going to let her take it away. Thanks for joining me, Shiela.
Hey, Allison, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm excited, very excited. I really was thinking about what to do for this personal growth and development, and I just said I'm going to talk about personal growth and development, right? So, you know, a little bit about me. Let me introduce myself. I am a licensed master social work, and I work as a clinical therapist in substance abuse and mental health for about 7 years. And then I transitioned and I started working at Delta College for about 2 years, 2.5 years, where I was a counselor, which really helped me to kind of shift my paradigm to see things a little more fully when it comes to the problems that we have. From there, I kind of got a little cocky and I was like, okay, I can start my own business. So I started my own business, Shaping Solutions, where I did life coaching and therapy services. And that was good. It was good. But I didn't know about business, and I kind of still was like a hustler because I did hair before and I owned some real estate. So I kind of knew a little bit about business, but I didn't know how to run a business. So I got a business coach and I got a strategic planner. We got together, we worked, and we created a phenomenal business with Shaping Solutions, and we were able to be successful. From that endeavor, we started Leadership That Delivers, and this is when I really started learning about the importance of personal growth versus professional growth. In Leadership That Delivers, we do a lot of personal growth and development, and we call it development in our training because we understand that people develop over time, and you can train in a moment, but development takes a little bit more. And so, but throughout my journey, what I was realizing is that we as people, we were investing in our professional lives, right? We would go out, we got the degrees, we got the job, or we searched for the job that would find us or that would have us feeling good about who we were. But what we didn't do is we didn't invest in ourselves. And so, I ended up starting a doctoral program as a consequence of starting Leadership That Delivers. And in my doctoral program, we have the 5 principles of performance, or our 6 P's of leadership. And it all starts with you. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about that, Allison, and really see what people felt about, personal growth, because, we grow at such a slow pace that sometimes we don't even realize, right, that we're growing. We don't even realize that we're changing. And then all of a sudden we get stuck. Like, wait, hold on, right? I got the job, or I have the kids, I'm in the relationship, but I still feel like something is wrong, right?
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. That happens to all of us.
Yeah. So, so what we developed was a program that we haven't executed yet because I'm still researching it, but it starts with passion. Now, should I put on some headphones? Or is there feedback?
There's some feedback behind you, but I can hear you okay. It seems to be clear enough, so I think you're all right.
Okay. So, our 5 P's is really passion. We start with passion, and we really try to get individuals ignited about what are you passionate about? What is that thing that wakes you up in the morning? That you can't stop thinking about, the thing that you conversate with your friends about the most, the thing that, really has you like, when you hear it, you want to read about it, you want to talk about it, So what is that thing that's in you that creates that passion for you? Mm-hmm. And once we go through that, then we try to attach that to what most people call it a why, but I call it your anchor, right? It's the thing that anchors you, and it's about a purpose, right? So we attach your passion to your purpose in a way that gives your passion meaning, right? It's like you're doing service for somebody, and that's what purpose is. It's about, how do I take that gift that's in me and I deliver it in a way that it benefits the world, it benefits people, Mm-hmm. And right. A lot of times people struggle with that because, we can cook, or we can clean, or, write a good paper, right? But I can't charge anybody for that because that's like my gift. Like we have this kind of thinking that that thing that we're good at, we're not supposed to, or God is not supposed to make room for that in our lives. That's my belief. And so we try to really attach it to a purpose. And then once you find your passion and your purpose, you have to become precise, right? You really have to start to think about, how am I going to make this happen? And so we talk about precision. It's kind of different. When I say precision, what do you think about, Allison?
I think about really knowing what you're passionate about and having an exact plan on how to use it. So I can be passionate about something all I want, but if I can't come up with a way that makes sense and is sustainable for me to use it, then it doesn't matter. So that's what that brings to mind for me.
A lot of times I get accuracy, I get goal setting, I get a lot of different answers with that. And I want to talk about accuracy because accuracy it has something. You could be accurate, but you're not precise. I don't know if people shotguns or bow and arrows or darts or whatever, but if you have, then you realize that you could be very accurate and not precise, meaning that you can throw or shoot that gun at the bullseye, right? And it's still like a little off. And so one day I went to a gun range and I'm shooting the gun. And actually I went with a friend of mine and they were shooting guns and it was off. It was just off, And what ended up happening was the guy said, well, you got the form, you have, everything is right. But let me see what your strong eye is. And so he was shooting with his left eye, I think, right eye, and then he switched it, and then it moved and shifted everything. So I want everybody to do an exercise right now. Take your finger and point it at something in the room, like the light switch. And when you point it at the light switch, close your right eye. That's my left eye, but close your left eye. If it's still on the light switch, then that left eye is your strong eye. But if you switch eyes, it moves, right? Did you see the target move? I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Yes. Yeah, I saw it move.
Right. So you see what the strong eye is, right? So that's really what precise is about. It's about, how do I work from my strong eye? So because I'm passionate now, because I know that thing that's ignited in me, and I've attached it to the purpose, how do I work from that place now, right? From my strong center, that thing that gift that I have, and then we create goals around that. Then we create objectives around that. Well, we have to know where you're coming from. What's your strong suit? Are you able to read? Are you able to write? Are you able to verbalize that? Like, how can you really execute this passion in a way that can reach the masses? Once we do that, then we're going to have to persevere. And that's our 4th P, right? Have you had to persevere some things, Allison?
Oh, of course. Of course. We all have hard times in life where we got to push through stuff to get what we want. Definitely.
Right. I heard a story before, and it was about the lobster. You ever heard about the lobster?
I don't think so.
Right. So the lobster, I guess when the lobster grows, I didn't know that lobster shed its tail. Did you know that lobster not shed its tails, but shed its shell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess like when the lobster starts to feel the pressure of the shell, it goes and hides under a rock, and then it sheds the shell, and then it gets another one to give it room to grow, and then it comes back out. But it goes and hides under a rock so that the predators won't get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy who said it kind of talked about it in a way of persevering. Like often when we feel the pressure of life, or when we're going for that charge, or we're doing that thing that ignites us, that makes us happy, that grows us, we end up feeling like, oh wait, this is too much pressure. And we don't take the time to really go to the side and work on ourselves, or shed our old ways so that we can develop new rooms so we can grow. We tend to do reckless things like drink and smoke and, sleep and do things like that. And then that doesn't really help us to personally grow. But guess what? We still get nothing. We're going to work in the morning, right? We're still taking that class. We're still doing all of the professional things that we need to do, but we're not doing that personal thing, which is really taking time to ourselves and really persevering and creating room for us, right? And so how we do that is really building a safe space, safe people to talk to, really working on our mindset, really going out, getting a coach or getting a therapist or whatever that thing that you need to really persevere past your old self, your old shell, right? The small thinking, the I can't do it, all of that stuff that I had to go through, right? And then once we persevere, we'll assume a level of power, and that's our 5th P. And power is about being confident, right? Have you ever done anything and you persevere, you worked hard at it, and then you got it?
Yeah. I can't think of an exact example, but I know that is a feeling I have experienced and enjoyed a few times at least.
Right. And so when that happens, though, you feel more confident, right? You feel more confident about what you have to offer.
For sure.
More worth about yourself. And so we really try to get people to really work with this power. And power is also about what kind of stories are we telling ourselves at that point. I mean, if you're telling yourself, now I said I resigned from Delta, right? Now I had found my passion for purpose. I became precise. I grew, made room. I persevered. I got some people around me really helped me. And then I kind of got a little cocky, right? Because I was good. Right? Because I really honed into this thing, right? So I got to this power level and I kind of started smelling myself, but I deserved it because I came from a very urban neighborhood, right? I came from very humble beginnings. I mean, I made my way through school, kind of paid my way through college. I, had 3 kids. I mean, I got the house, the car, I was really feeling good about this. I was a mentor now. But what I didn't realize is that power had nothing to do with that, because all of those things could have been taken in a moment. What it had to do with was being able to be a servant for real and being able to humble yourself and be grateful for the things that we have and to be grateful for life. And how do we give that back in a way where people see it and they see it from a way like not just from far back though, like, oh, that's amazing, but up close when they talk to you, you can give them an experience, right? And this is how we personally grow from the inside out. And then once we assume a level of power, we retell our money story, because guess what? One of the things I did when I started my professional business was I said I didn't start working for money, because I told myself this money story that really wasn't true. It took money to run my business. So I had to really retell myself my story I was telling about money. I had to really talk to myself about what I was telling myself about the barriers of being an African American, of being a woman, and all of these things that was really holding me back. And I had to really shed that, right? And it takes power and confidence and vulnerability and humility to really say, you know what? I'm gonna retell that story to myself. And when I retold it, then that's when you start to perform. And that's where I'm at in performance. And feeling good about it.
Good, you should. I think one of the things that you mentioned there that I just want to highlight is that you use the word vulnerability. And I know for me personally that is the hardest part of any kind of growth and any kind of anything, is being vulnerable. And it's even harder to be vulnerable with myself than it is with others. I mean, that is a huge piece of the puzzle that a lot of people miss. And I know I have missed many a times. So I just, that right there struck me quite a bit. And so for you to go through all that and be at the point where you are comfortable being that with yourself and with others and can perform is fantastic. And you should be proud. Definitely. You should be very proud.
And I just kind of figured that a lot of times when we have the titles, right? I'm a licensed master of social work, or I'm a, whatever that thing is that we do, we can sometimes hide behind those titles, right? We can sometimes hide behind them, and it stops us from being vulnerable, because we can say, hey, wait a minute, I'm I'm a mom of 3 kids.
Right.
You know, you can't talk to me like that.
You get that power card to play.
Yes, you know. And when you take that all the way, it's really about being vulnerable and saying, okay, so how can I help you? Or being able to listen. So we have a motto here at Leadership That Delivers. We say we listen to learn, we think to transform, and we decide to develop. And from that, it all starts with listening, though, right? It's about listening to the thoughts that you're telling yourself, listening to people, you know. And just because you listen don't mean that you have to act on it, right? But sometimes we're not who we think we are, and everybody else can see a different point of view. And as soon as they say something about you that you don't agree with, what do?
You stop listening.
Stop listening, right? And I'm not saying that you have to be like, a beacon to just listen to everybody, like, oh, what is your view on me? But I think that if you keep getting the same messages over and over again, you know, it's probably time to start listening a little bit. And so we listen to learn, and then we think. You know, you really have to be mindful of how you think about things, right? And how what your thoughts is telling you, because it's a lot in your subconscious mind of how you're working. And a lot of times we only work from. Did you know, Allison, that we only work? We respond 90% of the time from our subconscious mind. Like that means like you could walk through your house, cut on every light, and not even think about it. Dial a number, not even think about it. Click on a computer, type, not even think about it, right?
Yeah,
so most of the stuff that we're doing in life, we're doing it subconsciously, just doing it. And so how awesome would it be to be 90% conscious? Like, I'm aware of everything I'm saying. I'm aware of everybody that comes in. I see your hair. I see, you know, your beauty. I can recognize that. I feel the breeze, you know, blowing. I feel the sun. You know, it's just like about igniting a different emotion, right? Right.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and you see that sometimes, at least I have seen that when I've gone through life. The people that I am drawn to, who I want to be my mentors and who I want to be around, are those people who seem to be just a little bit more aware of things, who have a certain air about them. And I think that you hit the nail on the head there with just being more consciously aware of our surroundings.
Right, but we multitaskers, right? I hear you. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. You like, no, you're not paying attention, because when it's you want all the attention, right? You want the attention in that moment, but that comes with the level of personal growth, right? I have to be aware of who I am so I can be present to see who you are. And a lot of times we are not aware of ourselves, so we can't be present to see who somebody else is. So as we grow and we transform in life, we have to start creating new ways of being, you know, new ways of seeing ourselves, new ways of seeing our environment. And that comes from an internal place. It comes from a place because truly we see the world as we see ourselves. And if we haven't worked on ourselves enough and really developed us to be able to speak from a place of inside of us, then we're going to see the world from a broken place. And all too often we do.
Yeah, right? I absolutely agree.
That's why I'm passionate about personal growth and development. Yes, I am. I'm so passionate about it because it's like it's like a child, right? You don't have any kids, but I have 3 kids, and every time my children got to a new stage, like they went from crawling to walking, that first step was so exciting, right? When they said their first word, that's like so exciting because you see them growing and developing. And the first time they tell you no, you kind of get sad. Like, no, I want to do that myself. You kind of get sad, but you start to see them. And now I have a 14-year-old who's like a teenager, right? And I can see him growing into his little manhood. And I'm just like, wow, that's just amazing, right? And I have a 7-year-old and I see him like, I want to go to that school, and he's choosing things for himself. So, you know, we love to see things grow and developing, right? We plant gardens and we see the first bud come up and we're excited. You know, we go to I have tulips now in my yard. You know, I see them budding up. I love that, right? So it's all about the development. We love to see it, but we really don't do that for ourselves. You know, we seek outwardly to develop who we are. You know, we develop it through our through our statuses, through our bank accounts, through our titles. But when that's all gone, we only still with you. We only there with you. You know, do you like the person you're with? You know, and if you don't, then guess what? It's time to do something about it. So, Allison, I know we're probably passing our time, so I'm going to go and tell the people what I'm going to offer you guys, because I believe in personal growth and development.
Yes, please.
On this video, we're actually going to put a link in Leadership That Delivers. We do personality assessments, and we say it all starts with you. And so this assessment really looks at you and tell you about your strengths. And I was just telling Allison this before the call. You know, as individuals, we create balance over a lifetime, but balance happens over a lifetime, but in the moment, it only happens in teams. I can't do everything by myself in this moment. Now, over a lifetime, I can probably make up where I didn't have, or find a way to do something. But in this moment, I need people around me to really support my deficits. And if I don't know my deficits, then how can I create that team? And so a lot of personal development is really knowing where your strengths are, where your barriers are, and then finding people to really support you so that you can feel strong about who you are and what you're doing. So it's going to be a link at the bottom. It's going to take you to a page with your email and your email address, your phone number, your information. Then you're going to get an assessment. You fill out that assessment, probably take about 15-20 minutes to do it. And then we'll get to you I would say 24 hours, but I don't know. Maybe a lot of you guys are going to do it. So give me about 3 days to do it. I'll get it back to you with a write-up for you. And if you have any further questions, then feel free to contact us. And that information will be in the link below too, right, Allison?
Yes, it will be. Yes, it will. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Shiela, for joining us today and telling us what you're passionate about. It sounds wonderful. I know I'm looking forward to doing the personal assessment, and I hope that a lot of you guys will too. Will do it also. So thank you so much again, Shiela.
I want to say thank you too, and this is why I'm passionate about the JCs, because I know that the Saginaw JCs, or just the JCs altogether, it's really about personal growth and development, and really creating an environment where we as individuals can really hone into our passion. So I'm very excited about, you know, this new web chat that we're doing, so we can really be able to ignite our passions from the inside out. So thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Yeah, most definitely. And that was a perfect segue. If you are interested in the Saginaw JCs and anything that we do, you are more than welcome to come to our monthly meeting, which is the 4th Tuesday of each month at Stardust Lanes at 7 p.m. Also, if you check out our Facebook page, Saginaw JCs, we always post all of our event info. Our meeting info is there. You can see our members. You can see what we're doing. You can see other podcast episodes. So I hope that you will check that out too. Anything else to add, Shiela?
Nope. I love you guys. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, great.
I hope to see you at our next meeting.
Yes. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.